How are you today, mate?
Yeah, all right, mate. Thank you. Not too bad. Weather's been absolutely lovely today, so I've been out enjoying that with my cousin. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, no, very very nice day overall, and it was even better yesterday when hearing the news from London that Potter had been sacked. That's what I was glad about. I
Brilliant.
was so glad to hear
Brilliant.
that news. I think, yeah, it left a real sour taste in the mouth for all Brighton fans when he left. So to hear that news was just, I think, it was every Brighton fan's dream to be able to hear something like that.
Yeah, incredible, isn't it?
Yeah,
Right. Right. Brighton versus Brentford. That's what we're talking about today.
what is it?
People, this was a 6-goal thriller, an incredible game. Right, let's go stat by stat. We're going to start off with possession, like we usually do on Instagram. So, 72 possession to Brighton, 27 to Brentford. I mean, we can't say we didn't do anything with the possession. We scored 3 goals with it, and I think we're quite happy with the 3 goals. Wouldn't you have?
Yeah, 100%. I think I'll go goal by goal if you don't mind. I'll just say I think Matoma's one great ball by Jason. I think all the plaudits for that goal has to go to Jason Steele because he obviously put the through ball through for Matoma to actually just delicately lob it over David Raya, and then after that happened, it ended up in the back of the net, and that was an absolutely awesome goal for us to score. But absolutely fantastic. Really, really, really enjoyed it. That first goal, Matoma's shown what he can do, and he's done it on such a regular basis for us this season. He's been there when we've needed him. And then also, going on to the Welbeck goal, I think Solly March's cross, absolutely fantastic. Pinpoint accuracy. Puts it in, and then just Welbeck's there for the delicate header into the back of the net. Yep, and then obviously that last one, the penalty, that was a Stonewall penalty. You could see because Dennis Undav tried to kick it, came off the top of this bit of the Brentford defender's arm, then it took it over the crossbar. But I think if it hadn't have come off the Brentford player's arm, it would have been goalwards.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think with possession, we did really well. Possession, obviously, we weren't as sloppy as we usually are. It's scrappy in parts of the game, but I think overall we were the better team. Like De Zerbi said, there was only one team out there, but Brentford managed to take us a little bit by surprise, didn't they? 27 possession, they scored 3 goals. But I'm a little bit concerned as well, especially when it comes to shots. Where now we're going to be on to that. We 33 shots, I had 7, right? But they scored 3 of them. We scored 3 of them. I wouldn't say it's an even game. Absolutely not, because obviously we just spoke about it. It was only one side of the field, really, wasn't there?
It
And
was.
I thought we were the better team on miles.
We were the better team for the whole game. I won't deny that. I think where it comes to the shots, I think the statistics really do speak for themselves. Where obviously we had 33 shots. I don't know how many did they have. Was it like about? It's got to have been about. I think it was like 7 or something like that. I read,
7,
but
yeah.
7, yeah, something like that. But no, and then obviously 33 of those shots that we had, but 15 were on target. So yeah, and then I think Brentford probably the only 3 they had on target they all scored. So I think that's something for our defence to sort of improve upon because it did look a bit leaky. I won't lie with Colwill and Dunk at the back. I don't think Dunk had his best game in a Brighton shirt there. I mean, he was solid. The second half he was solid, but it was just the first half that I thought we leaked goals quite a lot.
Right, we've got some people in the chat. We've got Zane. Hello, Zane. Who's my favourite football player? Harry, who's your favourite Brighton football player?
Brighton, well, it's got to be Matoma at the moment. I think every Brighton fan that you speak to currently probably will say Matoma. But we've got a load of great players, good talented players within the squad at the moment.
Yeah. My all-time favourite player would have to be Solly March, but Mitoma at the moment, yeah, absolutely. Mitoma out of 10 as you. I can't give him a 10 because he's not I don't think he'd be able to play for Man City or something like that, but I can give him a 7.
I think I'd give Matoma a solid 8 out of 10. He's a good player on his day, and he's always a good player for us, and he's always there when we need him. He's a big game player as Matoma, and I think he's almost like what Leandro Trossard was when he was with us and more. Obviously, I think Trossard probably. I think actually some people might argue that Matoma is actually better than Trossard, which I'm personally probably one of those. I think the things that Matoma does are a lot better than the way Trossard was. I think Matoma contributes a lot more on the pitch than Trossard ever did in terms of goals and all that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is with Matoma, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Matoma. Right, I saw something about him on Instagram saying like he was the highest scoring Japanese player in the Premier League with 7 goals.
That's
Crazy
right.
if that's true. And the reason it is how have Brighton? We used to be a relegation battling club, right? And now look at us, we're right up there, pushing for Europe. Now we've got players like Matoma. We've had players like Trossard. We have players like Ben White playing for Arsenal now, both of them. But
This
Matoma
is
is
where
a capable player for us right now, and I think we can all see that. But
this is where we actually need to thank we're not thank, but we need to talk about the club recruitment team, because the recruitment from the club has been second to none. Getting these players, I think, obviously, like the likes of Dennis and Dev Matoma, we've done it with so many players like Kukadea, countless players. I mean, Ben White was one of them, sort of. I guess you could argue. Basuma, that's another one. There's a lot of players that we pick up that are off the radar, and then we turn them into like superstars, really. I think, and I'm thinking that sort of thing is happening at the moment with players that we've got like Julio Enciso, Facundo Buonanotte, and potentially Sarmiento. I think Sarmiento really does light up the pitch when he comes on. So I think, yeah, you could definitely argue that he's going to be one of our future starlets, but obviously he's injured at the moment. Bless him, but it's football at the end of the day.
yeah, so we'll get back to the live chat in a minute, but we're going to go back onto the statistics now with the shooting. So, I mean, earlier on we both agreed that we're happy with 3 goals, but we could have gone out there and won the game by so many goals. I mean, I remember my uncle was talking to me inside the ground at half time. He said it's either going to be a 5-3 to Brighton or a 4-2, and I didn't agree with him, to be fair. I thought Brentford might come out in the second half and be a better team. I don't think they were a better team. I think we were all over them second half again. I think second half's a better performance from them because they didn't concede as many goals, same with us. But I think first half was all about talent. Second half was more about just trying to keep the game how it is, trying to slow it down a little bit, and just trying to get them 3 points for Brentford. But when you're playing 6 at the back, it's hard to score them goals. And we were all thinking at one point, are we going to score? I honestly didn't think we would. I didn't think we were going to get that penalty. And when McAllister got the penalty, I was really nervous for the amount of pressure on McAllister. But clearly he didn't take that pressure. He just put it in the back of the net, did
Yeah,
what he had to do, and got on with it.
I think don't forget that McAllister's played in a World Cup final, so he's very, very used to the pressure. He's used to the pressure, and obviously playing alongside players like Lionel Messi. Yeah, he's an absolute superstar, McAllister, and he got us the point there, and he was the hero really for us at the end of the day, wasn't he? Obviously, we won that penalty, but he was the one that put it in the back of the net for us to equal the game and get that point. Otherwise, it would have been a very, very different outcome, and Brentford probably would have been going home happy with 3 points.
To be honest with you, I think both teams have to be happy with the draw, because when you look at Brighton and our top 6 chances, like every time we get chance in the top 6, it's usually us who actually bottle it. But just that draw, and I said before the game, I'll be happy with a draw as long as Fulham lose and we draw, we're in the top 6. And that puts pressure on us, I suppose, because now we've got pressure of other teams trying to take our place in the top 6.
Yeah.
But I think against Bournemouth and teams like that, now we're up there in the top 6. We've now got to prove that we can play as a top 6 side. And that means going to Bournemouth tomorrow and really putting on a show. Because I saw how Fulham played against them and they might have lost 2-1. And it's so, so hard to beat Fulham. But surely we have enough to beat Bournemouth.
At the start of the season, I probably wouldn't have used Brighton and top 6 in the same sentence, but it is a real prospect. I mean, a lot of the results. I mean, we drew at the weekend with Brentford, as a lot of things happened, but the other results did rather go our way, I thought, in terms of where we were in the table. Because obviously Liverpool lost to Manchester City, and then that made us jump them into 6th place. So, yeah, no, there was a lot of fortune. I think where we are, I don't know, I might get criticised for saying this, but I think that we have had to rely on a lot of fortune from other results to get where we are this season. But but we've put on some sensational performances, and we do deserve to be in the position on the equal hand.
Right, Harry, we've got some chats, so let's go through them. Hugh just says Mitoma is Brighton's best player this season. I'd say he is. What about you, Harry?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had so many good players this season. I mean, under De Zerbi, we've had so many improved players. I'll go on to Solly March in a minute, but yeah, no, Kaoru Mitoma, he's got to be the player of the season for me so far. been absolutely fantastic. Being there when we've needed him, and then obviously you mentioned that statistic a minute ago about him being a Japanese player that scored 7 goals in the same season, which is a record. I think it outscores someone. I think from a couple of years ago. I don't know the actual player who it was, but I think the other record was 6, and he's broken that now. So yeah, no. But most improved, I'd say, under Roberto De Zerbi is Solly March. I've got to say that. Honestly, he looks like a different player when he steps out onto that pitch at the moment. I've got to say. Obviously, he's not afraid to take a shot on now. Whereas I think with Graham Potter, when he was manager, I think he was a bit hesitant and he didn't really get the game time under Graham Potter, and he was rather hampered by injuries. But De Zerbi seems to have put this newfound confidence in him to be able to kick on and believe that he's almost like a world class player. I mean, yeah, which he is, and he needs to believe that, because then that's how you bring out the best. That's how you bring out the best of an ability in a player. If you do that.
And he's so good. You can't stop him. You simply can't. He's so fast. He's so good at dribbling. And I was just talking to my mate a minute ago. He's not. He's a Tottenham fan, and he's saying that he might be one of the best dribblers in the Premier League. Now, the amount of take-ons this guy wins is actually crazy. And we're talking about goals right now, but this guy as well, you've got to give him credit for his dribbling, man. He's so skillful. Most skillful player.
With Matoma, there's so many different aspects of his game which are they're so instrumental in the way that we play. And I think he's obviously a large part of our success this season. Matoma, obviously, he takes on all players and then seems to beat them. And obviously, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but he has an actual degree in dribbling that he studied in Japan. When he was in Japan, he went to a university called, I think it was like the University of Tsukuba, something like that. Might have got that pronunciation wrong, but no, he's and he studied there, and he studied the art of dribbling, and then he's got a qualification in it, and that is really, really, really showing on the pitch.
Right. Another one from Hugh says, do you think Brighton misses Trossard? No, not at all. I think Trossard is out of our mind by now. We've got an even better player, like Harry was saying earlier. Matoma, I think with Trossard, he was too greedy. He didn't pass. He would just shoot whatever. Matoma, he actually passes, unlike Trossard. And you've seen the chances, especially one against Spurs, where he almost got us a goal. It should have been a goal. But just that would have been one incredible result against us. That 1 point could have put us a little bit higher up in the league, I think, couldn't it? If we got a point out of Spurs, would it put us a bit higher up?
It would have, no. I think it would have put us up near a Newcastle if we'd have got that point.
Yeah. And right. Zane saying, what website are you using? What do you mean, Zane? What do you mean by that? And Hugh says, didn't he put a GoPro on his chest and try to develop of how to get past people? Harry, you might know that one. I don't. Is that true? Do you know?
I believe that's correct, because I've done quite a lot of research on Matoma, and I think that is, he did. So basically, he was watching YouTube videos of his favourite players. That is for me. He was watching YouTube videos of his favourite players. So at the time, like your Messi's, Ronaldo's, and then he was studying the way that they were dribbling and studying the way that they played. And then he was obviously watching YouTube videos of that, and then he sticks a GoPro to his chest, like Hughes just said, and then he almost tried to mimic that by doing it out on the football pitch. I think this was around the time that he was playing for his university team, which was at the University of Tsukuba. And he's become a world class player because of it. And we're going to do well to keep hold of him. I will say that.
No, he's made YouTube videos as well, hasn't he? Where he arrived at the game and all of that.
I think
Zane says, hang on a minute. You just see what you're saying there, Zane. What website are you using for the stream? I'm using the official YouTube app. You have to have 100 subscribers to do it. What are you saying, Harry?
So I was just saying about Matoma. But he's absolutely brilliant player, I've got to say. We'll do well to keep hold of him in the summer. I'm going to say that. I think we need to sign a new contract, and I think it has been in the pipeline that we were going to sign a new contract with him, and it's going to be like a multi-million-pound contract on top of what he's got already, because he's definitely our best player. I'm not afraid to say that.
Yeah. Right. Okay. What other stats we got? 38 clearances. No, that doesn't matter. Oh yeah. The fact is, this is one of the last. Well, maybe even the last stat we could read out here. We've had 14 corners, they've had 0. How did now I look at that, we were so dominant that they didn't even get a corner. That's what I'm thinking now. This is my question for you, Harry. I think he saved like one shot, and I think that was his, like, I think the reason he had to save it was his own fault, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that was the case. I mean, I think there's still an argument whether you should put Sanchez in goal. And I think
Oh,
I
yeah.
was speaking to a couple of people at the game, and they were saying probably put Sanchez over Steele. And I think that Sanchez should make a return to that number 1 spot. Personally, I think Steele has been very good, and he's good when he's been called upon, and I think this might just be a bit of a phase where he keeps being called upon. Then I think we will probably go back to Robert Sanchez, because if Robert Sanchez doesn't get the game time, it's going to be a similar situation to what happened to who's left it because they didn't have a lot of game time. So Trossard, I think, was one player, for example. We weren't playing him, but it was because mind you, Trossard was trying to force the move. Caicedo, that's one. He's basically trying to force a move to a bigger club because he wasn't getting the game time. I don't think. Basically, what I'm trying to say with Sanchez is he's not getting the game time, so he'll probably try and look for a move to another club if he doesn't get that game time and he's not called up to that number 1 spot over Jason Steele anytime soon.
I don't know if someone's trying to wind me up by saying this, but apparently Ramsdale's linked with Brighton. Is that true?
No, I wouldn't say that. That's not true. If he's playing for the champions, then why would he want to go to a smaller club?
That's what I said.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, got more chance of getting Ronaldo than we have Ramsdale.
How are you doing to let the people on your stream? You have to press a little plus icon and then press stream together, something like that.
Yeah.
Right, Harry. One last thing. What was? Oh yeah. So
Bournemouth.
you know what? I forgot, mate. I forgot. Anything else you want to say, Harry? Or
Well, just hopefully the boys do well at Bournemouth tomorrow night. Come back with the 3 points. We've got to beat Bournemouth, looking at where they are in the table in contrast to where we are. But no, I think it'd be a good game, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can win it, take all 3 points, and then that'll retain our position in 6th and make it a bit more secure if we can win tomorrow night. But no, best of luck to the boys tomorrow night, and I will see you in a couple of days for the Bournemouth reaction. Up the Albion, and let's hope for the 3 points.
right, people. See you guys at Wembley. We'll be there soon. Goodbye.